Welcome into a brand new episode of WSI TV. Enjoy the show.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and welcome into an all-new episode of WSI TV. I'm Sean Bauer, that's Jordan Bishop, and today we have a very special episode for a few different reasons. First of all, we're going to take you into some easy, big profits coming in January based on some back testing, based on the past few years of action, exactly how you're going to get paid, your whole playbook for that time period, really. We also want to say congratulations if you played along with Jordan's versus pick for our most recent round. Some massive gains there in just like a week and a half or something. It's actually incredible. We'll get to that in just a few minutes. We're also going to get to the first ever spin of the brand new Wheel of Misfortune. That's all coming up very, very shortly. But first, we're going to start here with 3 steps to your January profits. Again, this is all from something Jordan actually found with this January slump.
Yeah, basically all the systems we ever come up with, we do a whole lot of back testing. We look what a stock's done before because, you know, as they say, history repeats itself. The stock market is no different. As technical analysts, we look for patterns in the charts and long-term patterns tend to hold up very, very strongly. You know, they show very healthy results when we've been back testing. But I noticed that I was looking back at the S&P 500 the other week, and the first 2 weeks of the new year, the first 2 weeks in January, always seem to be heavy selling weeks. Right. Now this year, you know, they were heavy in selling, but they really didn't have a massive impact. But looking at the 3 previous years, as you see on your screen right now, these are the percentages that the S&P 500 lost in the beginning of those years. 6.4% in 2014, 5.7% in 2015, and it lost a massive 15% in the beginning of 2016.
Yeah, I remember that all too well, with a lot of positions getting closed out right away. That's all part of something we're about to get into in just a second, but I just want to say here, even something like a 5% dip in the S&P 500, a major market index, is a big move for a market index. That's something that's going to drag the vast majority of stocks down with it. This sort of move, 5 to 10 to even this 15% loss that we saw in 2016, that's something that can really, really harm your portfolio. And that's why we want to give you 3 steps to not only protecting your portfolio going into January, but also to make some really solid profits as we get into these dip sort of time periods coming in January.
That's exactly right. And you know, when you hear bad news, as some people will call it, like that, like the market's going down, it doesn't necessarily mean you're losing money. And we're going to show you exactly how to play this January slump, as we like to call it. And I'm just going to start us off with the first step. Now you're going to want to add a tight stop loss to any positions you have open right now. As we always say, you want that 5% stop loss. We know some people don't necessarily go by those rules. Yeah. You know, other competitors we've seen set 25% stop losses. Yeah. If you have something like that on your open positions right now, you are going to lose money. I mean, I would not feel comfortable with 25% stop losses going into January, never mind the rest of the year. But you know, tighten up those stop losses 5% at the very most from your current price.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more with that. I would be terrified going into January with any sort of stop loss over maybe 10%. That's just crazy to do. And it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Whenever you have November and December are traditionally a strong months for the stock market, it's just normal to have this sell-off in January. This is something Jordan caught on to, something you can protect yourself against with these stop losses, especially tightening them up. Something like 5%, like Jordan said, is really healthy going into this period, where you still let your strongest stocks that are going to continue to push up, you still let those breathe. You don't necessarily have to close them out. But some of the weaker ones that might get hit really hard in January, this step number 1 is going to protect you a whole lot. And then it's on to step number 2. We're looking for some short selling opportunities here, especially in the short term. Now, we normally are always going with the long-term overall trend of the market, but whenever you pick up on a pattern like this, where you see this January slump year in and year out, this is something that in the short term, you can make some money on by short selling, which is just buying in reverse.
Right, we talk about short selling all the time. It again is that just buying in reverse. Simple to place that order. You go to your broker, you say, I'd like to short sell, you know, 100 shares of Apple or whatever you're looking at. Again, you do want to stick to the rules of the systems we've been showing you. You want these stocks to be under their 40-week moving average, showing that they are weak and that they are showing signs of falling down. But just the weight of this January slump should push those stocks down even lower, and you can get in and out for a very quick short sell profit on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a great technique. I think we're both looking at a few stocks to do this on, and that's just if the stock price goes down, you make money. If you short sold it, that's all you're doing with short selling. If you've never done it before, it's really straightforward and simple, and something you're gonna have a great opportunity for here in January.
Right, and if you want to magnify those gains, just buy put contracts, you know, I would say 1 month put contracts. When it goes down, you can close them out, you know, for those massive gains, magnify those gains by 10 times maybe.
Yeah, just leverage them with options there. That's a great call with the put contract. We're also going to move on to step 3 here, really the final step of your January slump profits. That's going to be waiting to buy in the dip. This is something I'm really excited for. So we've had this stock market that's been going nowhere but up for over a year now, really without even any sort of healthy correction, any small correction like 5% like we might see in January. If that happens, using some of our systems, especially like those big bouncers, those B150s, this is something where you're gonna get good entry prices for strong stocks that have just gone sideways or maybe dipped a little bit with the market, but they're still ready to bounce and shoot upward.
That's exactly right, and I do have to note that even if the S&P falls 5%, it still won't be at its 40-week, never mind under its 40-week moving average, which would be the start of a, you know, a bear market, you know, as long as that trend would carry on. But 5% dip does not do that for this. You know, basically this also gives you another chance to get in any positions that you were in, that you tightened those stop losses, maybe they dropped out, you took those profits, now they're in a strong position again. So you basically skipped that down period where you would have lost money, and you're back in at another healthy position there on those stocks.
Yeah, that's a fantastic point. Yeah, don't just cross them off your list and forget about them. If you do tighten the stop loss but they get closed out, that's an absolutely a fantastic point. There's always another chance to get back in. Just miss out on those small losses, get back in for more gains.
That's exactly right. And moving forward, now you know how to take your January slump profits. We're going to show you a short clip here of a video that we really enjoy. Our seminar attendees will recognize this video. Just take a look at it, and then we'll tell you exactly why we're playing this.
So this is exactly what just happened to Jordan's stock pick in our most recent round of versus, where we did a crypto round. What you just saw there was Mark and Jim here in the office. They're actually really angry at a printer in the office that was acting up. It wasn't printing as it should. So they decided to take it out. They used a little explosive underneath the printer. They shot it, blew it up, skyrocketed as you saw. That's exactly what just happened with Jordan's stock pick in this versus round. Yeah,
we like to use that analogy for stocks that just blast off. They just explode into the stratosphere, just like our good old friend Mr. Printer did. You know, but I don't want to brag here. You can see the results on the screen. No, there's not meant to be a decimal point between the 8 and the 5 on mine. Overstock.com, OSTK, my crypto pick, shot up 85%. That was the peak it hit. You know, and I have to thank the introduction of the Bitcoin futures contracts for those gains. But that's not to discredit Sean. You know, he had that 3.7% gain. You're
making me look bad, man.
I mean, a week and a half, that's a solid winner, you know?
Yeah, I mean, anybody would be happy with it any other time except whenever you're up against an 85% victory here. So if you just put $1,000 on Jordan's trade, you just made $850 in, you know, 10 days, 2 weeks, whatever it was.
Yeah, and you know, this is a great way to break that losing streak I was on, because I think I lost about 4 or 5 in a row to Sean. And you should have felt the tension we had in the office during this. Every other day it was up another 10%, up another 10%, and he's sitting there. Nvidia's a great stock, by the way. I do like that stock, but Overstock.com took it. So sorry, Sean, but I think that takes us to your punishment, right?
Yeah, this will be the first ever spin of our brand new Wheel of Misfortune here. Again, we have some of our favorite punishments ready to go. And just as a side note, I think I say we play that printer explosion video every time we get something that gets like 20%, 20% gains.
I mean, I'm sure you guys would like to see it again. It's a very amusing video. So anytime you see that video, you know that a stock is taken off. And I mean, hopefully you already know that because you're in on these trades and you're making money too. But
absolutely.
Let's quit diverging from the actual the fun part right now, the punishment. I'm gonna spin this wheel to determine Sean's fate. We will do this punishment next week in next week's episode. But of course, after this, we're gonna get to our new stock picks. So
here we go.
Are you ready for this, Sean?
Yeah, let's do it. As long as it's not the ice bucket challenge where I get a bucket of water dumped on my head, I'll be okay.
Let's see.
No bad bartender, right? You see what we got?
We got silly strings.
All right, so if you're at the annual Wealth Summit, or if you did see that live episode, I think we put out a week or two ago, you did see Jordan's punishment. We introduced for the first time. We got silly string on stage from our good volunteer there, Walter. That was fun to watch it happen to Jordan. Now I'm not having so much fun seeing that come up.
Yeah, we have some extra cans. I think they're probably still in the bar from the seminar. So yeah, we'll get Sean all silly stringed up next week, next Friday, or this Friday, I should say. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, great round, for me. Yeah. I mean, you still made some money, 3.7%. You know, if you annualize those gains, it beats the S&P 500 even after this year. So
yeah, decent little gain for me. Not whenever you look at 85%. But,
yeah, I'm not being condescending there, but I'm happy with that 85% gain, really, and great stock. So
yeah,
pat myself on the back there.
Well, we'll get to the silly string next episode. I guess for now we'll move on to our brand new round of verses here. We're actually going to do the penny stock round. If you're going to flip us over there, this is going to be Jordan and I going head to head. One stock pick each. Biggest gainer wins, obviously. Hopefully one of us gets another 85% gain. But then again, as you just saw, loser will have to spin the wheel of misfortune. And we let these go on for 2 weeks. Whatever reaches the highest peak there is the winner. So you have your pick for us this time?
I do, yeah, and I just want to say it was Sean's idea to do a penny stock round. I don't know why, because that's sort of my specialty, and yeah, after the last round, I mean, I don't know, maybe he's making it easy for me, but we'll see.
I'm feeling increasingly dumb now. I do call Jordan the penny stock king because he always picks penny stock winners, but
that is true. So hopefully good luck to me this round. I'm going with Euroseas Limited. It's a shipping company. The ticker is ESEA. That is ESEA. It's sitting around $1.77 right now. Very cheap penny stock, but I am saying cheap and not weak because it looks great on the chart. So
there you go.
See what you got, Sean.
Yeah, maybe a discount stock for Jordan there. I'm going with Every Holding. So the ticker is EVRI, Every. It is at 763 right now. Another one that looks like it's in a really strong spot. We'll see what happens coming into this January slump, but I think both of these that we picked out have a really good chance of still continuing their strength, continuing on that strong path that they're on. So we'll see how they do when they go head to head.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, well, I guess that's all we have for this Christmas, this holiday episode for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, head over to WSITV.com. You can claim a free subscription. You're going to get access to the WSI Vault and some other free bonus gifts. And especially if you're on this YouTube page right now, look below, click that subscribe button if you haven't already. You'll get first access to all of this content, all these videos we're putting out regularly. So be on the lookout for that. But in the meantime, we do want to say happy holidays. As we get to a new year, we're looking forward to another stellar year here. But for now, we want to say thanks for watching, and we'll speak to you next time. Cheers.
Thanks for watching the latest episode of WSI TV. Be sure to visit WSITV.com where you can subscribe for free with no contract and gain instant access to the secrets of self-made millionaires via the WSI TV Vault. So go ahead and claim this gift for free now at WSITV.com.